Good morning. Good morning. Real fast, I wanted to talk about ERIC. It's the Electronic Registration Information Center, and if you didn't know, March 6th, 2023, we officially dropped out of this voting system. Now, I'm an IT by trade. I was in the Navy doing it for 22 years, and my focal is cybersecurity, and we dropped out because they were talking about data privacy. We want to keep Floridians data privacy healthy. Now, just so you understand this, in the technology realm, when it comes to security, we baseline CIA. That's confidentiality, integrity, and availability, right? So the integrity part is what I want to be clear on. Integrity means also that we put controls in place to ensure that if there is a breach or something happens, we're able to find those by way of auditing and logging those interactions that happen in the cyber realm. To drop out of this program completely takes away a mitigation factor in relation to politics in the government system. When you have no security in place, that's a problem. Any form of security is always better than no security. Now, as a cybersecurity based ideal, I'm not going to not ensure that the correct amount of auditing is done. Like, who has access to the program? We're not going to be at congressional hearings saying that, oh, well, no one turned the logging on for who could access it or what individuals could access this database. We will, though, put in mitigation efforts, firewalls, things of that nature to make sure that we don't get turned off by distributed denial of service attacks and things of that nature, any type of ransomware attacks or something of that nature. These are just things that, if you're going to talk about data privacy and that being the reason you dropped out of a system that right now the entire country is kind of having a problem with, when we talk about voter fraud and who did this and who did that, and we can have an audited system in place to actually track down what's going on. The forensic data that you get from computers is unparalleled to what you could get biologically from a person. It's just unparalleled. So to have no system in place is downright foolish. We should not drop out of systems before we have another security system to implement. That system created a place of checks and balances. If you've been keeping up, this state and other states are deciding how many people are going in and coming out of their states ad nauseum. These things are always being tracked. So when we start talking about voting and having to send Floridians to voting areas or even anywhere else, why are we not using technology to monitor this and making it interconnect that will invalidate you being able to vote in two states, because the computer's smart enough to see that you just voted in the state next door or across the way. The reason this doesn't happen is because you don't want that level of protection. And there may be a myriad of reasons. There may be a myriad of reasons why you don't want that level of protection. But I can assure you that when I'm governor, we will have that level of protection. Your vote will be invalid the moment you do it, if indeed you voted in another state and just hopped over to my state to vote as well, because the computer will catch that. And yes, it will flag your name. No, you will not go to jail on the spot, because that takes a whole lot of other stuff, but we will come find you. Because that's not okay. We have laws against voter fraud. We have an entire country going crazy right now because of voter fraud. We have people that run for offices in the state of Florida that have mentioned voter fraud. And we have a way to implement controls that we have walked out of, and they say it's for data privacy. Matter of fact, if you go to dos.myflorida.com, you will see a Immediate release on Monday, March 6, 2023. Full withdrawal from Electronic Registration Information Center amid concern about data privacy and blatant partisanship. You see what I mean? So when we look at it like that, we can ask for specific controls. This is what I talk about. If you go to some of my videos, and I talk about leveraging the people who work for the government. I do not know everything, and I will never say that I want to know everything, but I know that if I need somebody that understands the intricacies of realty as it relates to what my state can do or the office of that state, I'm going to talk to that individual, because we understand that there are forms of legalese that happen in everything that we do, especially when it comes to governance and creating legislation that is backed by constitutional statutes. It's important to leverage those individuals who make a focal understanding of that. There cannot be, I just can't imagine they leverage an IT person and that person said, just get rid of the system because it's just best not to have it at all. Not from a purely cyber security perspective. It's not valid. No IT would have just said that. They would have asked, hey, did we look at the auditing logs? Let's just look at the logs and see what question you're asking and see if we're auditing for that. Let's get this right. Let's make sure that we don't remove controls that are meant to assist. It is not going to be perfect, but you can definitely ask for perfection from a computer system. I assure you that. So if you want this program to do exactly what it's supposed to do, or what we think it's supposed to do, which is ensure that an individual should not be able to go from one state and vote in another, you can write the program to make it do exactly that. You just have to have interconnectivity amongst databases to validate this conversation. It's pretty simplistic. You guys have a great day.